Hey guys, it's Jason aka Hetian here. I know it's been a while, but my last couple videos I really didn't like the quality of them, so I didn't decide to post them. Anyway, if you're wondering what I got here, I've been interested in trying out other formats for Yu-Gi-Oh! I've tried speed duels. I can play them, but I really haven't found a deck I liked for that format. So then I was like, you know what? I'll just go look up GOAT format. And then I pretty much built a deck after I looked a couple things up. I'm like, okay, these are out of the cards that I got. I'll just do a warrior deck. And so this is what I'm going to be showing off today. This is now, for those of you that don't know, GOAT format is basically a format that happened years ago, back in the original Yu-Gi-Oh days of 2005, from about April of 2005 to I think October of 2005. And the reason why it's called Go format is because of scapegoat and shenanigans you can do with the build called Goat Control. Now, my build that I just threw together and actually could improve on is it's just like a warrior build with just some cards in there that just are, good for the format. Anyway, don't mind the rarities. I looked everything up, and it doesn't matter as long as the cards are legal for that format. I haven't had anybody complain. Now, I will admit that this deck has only played 5 actual matches via either Dueling Book or attempt at remote dueling, which that guy ended up having to, those 2 games ended up having to go. I just called them ties because they ended up having to go somewhere. And anyway, the best card of the time, BLS, Black Hole Soldier Envoy of the Beginning. He was pretty much broken back then. That's why he was at 1. And then that's why I think soon after that, I don't remember how soon after that, but he got banned for a while. And if you don't know, which I highly, pretty much, he can't be normal summoned or set, so you gotta special summon him by banishing a light or dark, which, from your graveyard, which is ridiculously easy. And then during your turn, you can either banish a card on the field, or banish a monster on the field, and he can't attack. Or if you decide to attack a monster and he destroys a monster by battle, he can attack a second time in a row. So that's why he was kind of nuts, because he's pretty much, you can either just sit on him in defense mode and just banish stuff, control the board, or if you really need, or if you really want, because he's 3,000 attack, you just swing over monsters, get another attack, just keep swinging. Alright. And then I went a little weird with this. I decided to play Buster Blader along with 2 skilled white magician. I know it's technically weird, but I kind of felt like it was my inner child coming out with these choices, kind of like, oh, I know how I would have built this deck back then, kind of, and I thought, you know what, Buster Blader, because he's just awesome, and if you don't know, he's a tribute summon to a monster, you tribute to, or you have skill white magician, which can special summon him after you get 3 counters on it. So otherwise, pretty much have this as like a wall, like, if you need some defense, or you just want something to get sniped by Nobleman of Crossout, which was one of the dangerous cards, And just another choice, like, this format's also like a beatdown format in a way, or get controlled, so it's like some warriors that'll help fuel the amounts of darks in here. And I just went with Dark Blade just because it's another childish choice from my childhood. And plus, you can tell I've had this one a long time. From Magician's Wars, you can see the edges. Then, whoops. It's supposed to be 2 Marine Captain. Where is it? There. Marine Captain, he was at 2 then, because it was back then it wasn't common for monsters to be able to special summon other monsters. And of course, if you don't know, Marine Captain is basically when he's normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand alongside him. And then if any one of your monsters on your field cannot be targeted but him, so if you're able to get 2 of him out, basically your opponent can't attack any of your warriors or either one of him, because it's kind of like a lock. That's why they had him at 2 back then. And here's another kind of choice that, like I said, made this kind of choice for childhood. I did look up the list of legal cards before I made this. I even saved it as a sheet. And I saw Silent Swordsman on there. I'm like, wait, doesn't the big one make it where spell cards are useless on the field? I was like, yeah, so guess what? I decided to go 3 of level 3 and then 1 of the other 2. Mostly because I found out I don't own another copy of Silent Swordsman level 5. Plus, like I said, some of these choices are a little bit of nostalgia trip. Then, because it's a warrior deck, and I kind of like this card for being a warrior, Command Knight, which I think it's a girl. I've always been confused about that, so give me your opinions in the comments. I could be wrong, but pretty much Command Knight says if there's at least if there's at least one other monster on your side of the field, you can't select him or her as an attack target, which was kind of good, but the part that's better is all face-up warriors gain 400 extra attack points, so it's like, she has big defense, or she just becomes 1600 and makes all your other warriors 400 plus, so I thought, you know what, why not? Then we got Sengen, which, gotta love Sengen. And remember, back in 2005, this is way before they errated him. And I think I have the errata. Sorry, I might have the errata version right here or not, but pretty much he's just basically destroyed. You get a monster with 1500 or less attack points added from your deck to hand, and that was pretty much a good cohesive way to get stuff. So that's why he was at 1. Plus it's Sengen, so let's see now. The Warrior Lady was pretty much great removal. She attacks into something, or she gets attacked pretty much after damage calc. You banish her and whatever she was facing off with, and then for the assailant, whatever card destroys this, she'll banish it along with herself. And plus, they got good stats. The assailant's 1700 and Warrior Lady's 15. Sure, 15's iffy at times, but I'm like, her effect's worth it. Spot removal, just like Exile Force, except this is literally normally just normal summon, tribute, bye 1 monster. Literally, that's all it says. It's tribute this card, destroy a monster on the field. It's literally all Exile Force is for. I think he was at 1. I gotta double check that. Spirit Reaper, because I like Stall, but he can't be destroyed by battle, but if he's targeted by an effect, guys, he will blow himself up. But otherwise, he has an effect if he's actually able to do damage to your opponent. Battle damage, I should say. He'll randomly discard a card from your opponent's hand. So guess what? Say bye-bye to their hand. Breaker, because, well, if you don't know what Breaker does, he gets a spell counter when he's summoned, and you could destroy a spell or trap, but if you keep the counter, he gains 300. He can only hold 1 counter, but it's like he's back row removal. So Otherwise, he'll be a 1900 beat stick if he's not acting as back row removal. And Chaos Sorcerer, because like I said, there's a little bit of chaos in here, so... And like BLS, you can't normal summon him or set him, so you gotta first special summon him by banishing a light and a dark from your graveyard. And then once per turn, he could just straight up banish a face-up monster, but he can't attack that turn, so kind of good, like a little control there. Alright, now let's get into the reason why a lot of people play this format. Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and yes, what does Pot of Greed do? Well, on the card it says it draws 2 cards from your deck. But lately, if you've seen some funny posts on any Facebook group, you literally will see people writing paragraphs describing what you have to do. You excavate the one card from your deck and put it into your hand, and then after you do that, you get your second card and excavate it and put it into your hand. And once that's put in your hand, you put this card into the graveyard. Like, literally, they go overboard. It's hilarious, but pretty much +1, get to use it. Then Graceful Charity, which, I'm going to be honest, guys, Graceful Charity is never coming off that list, that ban list, because it would help so many decks. It would just set up graveyard. Mostly because of, oh look, discard 2. Like, okay, send dangers after you draw 3. Like, yeah, no. There's reasons why. Heavy Storm, deals with all the back roads at 1, which, still love this card. Premature Burial, which it's pay 800, select a monster in your graveyard, special summon it, equip it with this. If this card gets destroyed, you destroy the monster. So pretty much, there's ways to abuse it but it's otherwise just straight up get your monster back. MST was that one, pretty much destroy spell or trap, which is always good. It's on quick effect. Swords of Revealing Light. I almost said shields. I'm sorry, guys. I've been thinking about finishing my Pokemon Sword and Shield, and that's why I was getting Shield mixed up. But pretty much how this, you guys know how it works. Flips all face down monsters up. Their effects don't activate at the time. And this remains on the field for 3 of your opponent's turns. So pretty much your opponent can't attack for those 3 turns. Always nice. And oh yeah, a card that's never gonna it's never gonna be at 2 ever again, which is Rhoda, one of the best search cards ever, which lets you search for a level 4 or lower warrior monster. Always a great card, always will be. It's at 2 in this format, it's kind of ridiculous. Nobleman Cross out. Now, I mentioned this earlier. This is a very dangerous card in the format for the fact of how there's times you have to set cards, set monsters, and if you're playing flip effects like Magician of Faith or God knows, I don't know, Maneater Bug, it's basically, okay, bye-bye, and then both players have to banish all copies of that card from their deck. And by the way, fun little fact, guys, I found out that that the character on the art of Nobleman Crossout is supposed to be a guy. Yeah, I thought it was a chick when I was younger, just because I assumed long hair meant, being girls. So back then, I'm just being honest. I was a little more judgmental when I was younger. But anyway, as you can see, this one's in better shape than this one, because you can tell I use this one more. Alright, we got a couple more spells, which are more like just my little techie choices, which... Lightning Vortex, if you don't know, you discard a card, destroy all face-up monsters on your opponent's side of the field. It's basically the off-brand version of Raigeki that we got, that got made, which was very useful for when we needed it, and It really doesn't see play in modern, but like I said, this is for GOAT. Then the A forces, which when it's face up, your warrior monsters gain 200 attack points for each face up warrior or spellcaster on your side of the field. So notice how I was playing a lot of warriors and there's some spellcasters. That means when this is up, and say you have 5 monsters, which I'm going to be honest, if you have 5 monsters on the field, I don't know how you haven't won already, or how you haven't been hit hard by your opponent. They probably are going to be playing bad in GOAT format if they have let you get 5 monsters. Because usually that opens you up for Mirror Force, and if they haven't done that by now, it either means you've played past it or you have Jinzo or something, but pretty much your warriors are guaranteed 1,000 if you have 5 warrior and or spellcasters, but it's only the warriors that will get the boost from the A forces, mind you, so just remember that. And then enemy controller, I remember seeing it on the list of cards that were legal. If it's not, I will probably change it. But pretty much, you either get to switch battle position of face-up monster your opponent controls real quick, or you can take over one of their monsters by giving up one of yours. Either way, still good. Just my little choices. And then I'm just going to show you all 5 of the traps, because I'm only playing 5 traps. That makes it 40. You have Mirror Force like I was talking about. It was at 1 at this time because of how dangerous it was. You know, just being able to be like, bye-bye to all your field. Which is also why you'll see people, if you watch GOAT format duels, you'll see people switch some of their monsters to defense mode before they go to battle phase. Just to make sure if they do get hit by this, they still have monster presence. Call of the Haunted was also at 1. Basically, just get you back a monster from your graveyard into attack mode. And, this kind of equipped to it. Ceasefire, one of my favorite old time cards that does burn damage and flip stuff. Now, I only put it in here because it's kind of like my nostalgia thing. I always liked this trap card when I was little. It just felt like, bam, annoy your opponent with some effect damage so you don't have to hit them harder. Sagaretsu armor, basically, oh look, I destroy your attacking monster. It's also that I gave it the nickname Budget Mirror Force when I was little, because literally Mirror Force was expensive as hell, because I think it only came as like ultra rare and like high rarity stuff, or it was reprinted, or it wasn't really reprinted until years later. So Sakuretsu was pretty much hello common card that everybody can get a hold of. And then just a little more spell trap removal in the form of Dust Tornado. And it could even let you set a spell or trap from your hand after you've destroyed something. Well guys, that's pretty much the deck profile. I know it took a little longer explaining it. GOAT format's pretty fun. It does make you manage your resources. And also, it is kind of nice just to play around with the older rule set, like being able to draw a card for if you go first, which I kind of miss, but I also understand why they changed that back in like 2015. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry about the camera being silly. I was, making it out of focus. Hopefully, I'll have another video up after this one. If you want me to be playing around with it, I'm trying to get a buddy to play with me with it, because the last couple times I tried to record while I was playing on Dueling Book, I got some opponents that just either stalled out the game for no reason, no matter what kind I was playing, or I just drew the worst hands and just could not even make it entertaining enough comeback, or even win. And I don't want to bore you guys with like, okay, I made a bad move, so I just lost 2 minutes later. All right, I'll see you guys later.